On August 20th, 1966, a young boy flew his kite across the rolling hills of Vintém Hill near Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. What he discovered that day would become one of the most baffling, unsolved mysteries in South American history, involving two dead engineers, mysterious lead masks, and theories that stretch from secret radiation experiments to extraterrestrial encounters. The boy stumbled upon two bodies lying side by side on the remote hilltop. Both men were impeccably dressed in dark suits and raincoats, despite the clear weather. But what made this discovery truly extraordinary was what covered their faces: crude masks made of lead, each with small eye holes cut out. Beside them lay an empty water bottle and a packet that had once contained towels, now mysteriously missing. The victims were identified as Manuel Pereira de Cruz and Miguel José Viana, both electronic engineers from Campos dos Goytacazes. About 300 kilometers from Rio, these weren't random drifters or criminals. They were respected professionals with families, steady jobs, and no apparent reason to end up dead on a remote hilltop wearing lead masks. The investigation revealed an even stranger story. On August 17th, 3 days before their bodies were found, the two men had traveled to Rio de Janeiro. They told Cruz's wife they needed to buy materials for work and would return the same day. But instead of heading home, they took a bus to Niterói, then traveled to the isolated Vintém Hill. What happened next remains one of Brazil's greatest unsolved mysteries. The autopsy revealed no signs of violence, no wounds, no trauma. Both men appeared to have died simultaneously. But from what? The cause of death was listed as cardiac arrest, but toxicology tests were incomplete due to the advanced state of decomposition. Even more puzzling was a small notebook found with the bodies. Written in Miguel's handwriting were cryptic instructions: 1630, be at agreed place. 1830, ingest capsules. After effect, protect metals, await mask signal. The meaning of these words has never been deciphered. The lead masks became the focal point of endless speculation. Lead blocks radiation, leading some to theorize the men were involved in a secret experiment with radioactive materials. Others pointed to reports of UFO sightings in the area around the time of their deaths. Local witnesses claimed to have seen strange orange lights hovering over Vintém Hill on the night the men disappeared. The UFO theory gained traction when investigators learned both engineers were members of a group interested in spiritualism and electronic communication with extraterrestrial beings. They had been experimenting with radio equipment, trying to make contact with what they believed were visitors from other worlds. Could their final journey have been an attempt at alien contact gone tragically wrong? But the radiation theory held equal weight. Both men worked with electronic equipment and had access to materials that could potentially be radioactive. The lead masks suggested they expected exposure to some form of radiation. Were they part of a secret government experiment? Had they stumbled upon something dangerous in their work? Adding to the mystery, a local television repairman came forward years later claiming he had sold electronic equipment to the two men just days before their deaths. He described them as nervous and secretive, speaking in hushed tones about a project they couldn't discuss. They had specifically requested components that could detect electromagnetic fields. The case took another bizarre turn when investigators discovered this wasn't an isolated incident. In 1962, 4 years earlier, another man had been found dead in the same area under similar circumstances. He too was well-dressed and found near electronic equipment, though he wasn't wearing a lead mask. Local folklore in the region speaks of experiments by a group called the Electronic Spiritualists, who believed they could communicate with spirits and extraterrestrial beings through radio waves and electronic devices. Some researchers suggest Cruz and Viana were part of this group and died during a ritual that went wrong. The Brazilian police investigated for months, but could never determine what caused the deaths of these two engineers. No poison was definitively identified. No electromagnetic radiation was detected at the scene, and no evidence of foul play was ever discovered. The case officially remains open, though active investigation ceased decades ago. Weather records show August 20th, 1966 was a clear, sunny day with no rain in the forecast. Making their raincoats another unexplained detail. The water bottle found beside them tested negative for toxins, and the missing towels were never recovered. Every piece of evidence seemed to raise more questions than answers. Local UFO researchers continue to investigate Vintém Hill, reporting unusual electromagnetic readings and unexplained phenomena. Skeptics argue the men likely died from poisoning, either accidental or intentional, with the lead masks being part of some misguided protection ritual. But no theory fully explains all the evidence. More than 50 years later, the lead masks case remains one of Brazil's most enduring mysteries. Two engineers, dressed for business, died simultaneously on a remote hilltop wearing crude lead masks, carrying cryptic instructions about capsules and signals. Whether they were victims of a scientific experiment, participants in a spiritual ritual, or something else entirely, the truth remains hidden, shrouded in mystery. Please follow us for more stories at pastexplode.com. Or something else entirely. Their story continues to captivate investigators and mystery enthusiasts around the world. The truth about what happened to Manuel Pereira da Cruz and Miguel José Viana on Vintém Hill may never be known, leaving us to wonder what events could drive two rational engineers to their mysterious end, and whether some secrets are simply too dangerous to uncover.